Pull up. What's up, peoples? It's time for the Even People Show. And if you didn't know, man, now you know. I have a co-host with me today. I'm just jamming to my jam. Can y'all hear that? I don't even know if y'all can hear that. What? So where your friends at? I'm trying to get higher with a jetpack. Smile on my face when she texts back, said she don't want to play games. I respect what? No lies, man, I'm telling you the truth. Everything mad when I pull up with the goo. Alright, selector. That's my boy Wizkid with them African boys. And we're gonna get right into it, alright? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna run the intro, and as soon as I come back from the intro, I'm gonna have my guests on with me, and then we go get right into it. All right. Thanks for joining the Even People Show, and let's go. All right, peoples. Francis, you know you're on, right? I don't know if I said that or not, but you're on, my dear.
I am on.
Francis is my co-host today.
On.
So you get to join the show from the start. Can we go do this together?
Yes.
All right? So I'm gonna put if y'all don't know who Nickesha Francis is, that means y'all haven't been following the Even People Show, because I've had her on several times. And she does all kind of fancy things, but that's not what she's gonna do today, though. Today, she's gonna give me the female perspective on some of these shenanigans that I've bumped into. So, what we're gonna talk about today, you see sliding across the bottom of the screen there, is questions you should never ask a woman. Now, before we went live, the first question we talked about, her and I, we couldn't even agree on that. Like we were in two different places on the first question. So Francis, I'm gonna put the question out there, right? And you're gonna tell me if it's actually, if it constitutes something that male really should not ask a woman, and why. And I'll give you my take on it. So it's like that show with Steve Harvey where he says survey says. So bless up yourself, Maxi K. Butcher. So survey says that a man should never ask a woman, can I kiss you? What do you think?
I think it depends. I do. I think it depends on, the person, the guy, right? It's like, it depends on the swag. It depends on like the vibe. Because some people, somebody you're dating, I've had all different angles of it. I've had the asker that I appreciated. I have had the don't ask, just go for it, which I appreciated. And I've had the I'll go for it. I want to be the first to do it. So
yeah, you see, that's why we can't see eye to eye on that one. Because for me, you got to judge the room, guy. Like you got to read the room. You read the room, and if you get to that point where that it's time for that, then go for it. I don't think you should ask a woman, can I kiss you? I think if you're with a woman and you're at that point where now, kissing is gonna become a thing, then yeah, you should already be on point and know whether or not you're at that point. And when you get to that point, you go for it.
But what if you what if you're misreading, right? Because that happens sometimes where sometimes you can misread the vibe. Because I'm not really, not even necessarily a question, but a statement. Like I've had somebody say, I think I want to kiss you, and it's like said in a like really, sexy way. You're like, all right, that's that anticipation and excitement because they're making a statement. They're not asking a question where you don't know
Right.
when it's gonna happen. So that's kind of cool. And I think sometimes they do that to kind of, that's their way of like, reading the room a little bit more, like getting your reaction. So that's another part of it.
What if the woman would have been down, and when the man asked the question, "Can I kiss you?" That kind of like make the situation deflate, and now she's like, "Dude, if you have to ask, like."
Yeah, if that's gonna make it deflate, she probably thought he was corny from beginning, and this is just like the top. You know what I mean? Because some people can be awkward. It depends. I mean, and this is bringing me back to like high school and like college days too. I'm like, I'm grown now, so now it's like we're not asking no questions. We're just going with the vibe. So that in
Okay.
itself to me
But,
is like,
but that's it.
are
I'm
people
not
still
talking about.
asking those questions?
I'm
But
not
I
talking
don't
about high
know.
school. I'm not talking about high school or college. I'm talking about big man, big woman, something. And I'm saying, if you're asking, you shouldn't be asking. If you're out there, you're a man, you're doing your thing. You should be able to, in my opinion, read the vibe, understand whether or not you and the person are vibing on that level. And if you are vibing on that level, you go for it, man.
I don't know. With all of this that's going on, men got to be careful. I think men are a little bit more skeptical nowadays too. With all of this, like 10 years later, she said, you kissed me and I didn't want you to kiss me. So
Oh
you have
boy.
to ask permission for everything now.
So okay, so I wasn't even thinking about that. So you're saying in the current climate, asking "Can I kiss you" is more acceptable, or should now you probably want to go that route now?
I think so. Like it's funny because I obviously didn't think about this, but as I'm saying it, because I've heard a
Mhm.
lot of men now saying, you have to be careful. You don't know, what to do now, because I think men with the Me Too movement and all of these things that are happening, I think men, and rightfully so to a certain extent, because the truth is
Yeah,
women have had men kiss them where they really didn't want to be kissed, and they just kind of went along with it, because then they start thinking that maybe I did lead him on because I was smiling too much, or I pulled close to him, because that's another level of intimacy. So that's why I say it could
yeah,
be misread, because I could be
true,
having a good time with you, I could really be enjoying you, but I'm not, because kissing is very intimate. And
true, true,
sometimes
true.
people have the thing like after the first date or whatever, then they feel like a kissing is like something that's supposed to come. And sometimes the woman might be really feeling you, but she might not be ready
You're
for
not
that
there
next
yet.
stage. So
Okay,
sometimes it can be misread. Me cozying up to you, even holding your hand, smiling, touching you on your shoulders, still might not mean I want to exchange saliva.
true. You see, this just complicates it now, though. Whatever happened to the simple days when when you could just read the vibe and go with it? But yeah, yeah. You see, because you touched that, I'm gonna move on. I ain't even gonna go no further down that particular rabbit hole. All right, so another one. And like we said, we're doing it the Steve Harvey way, where it says survey says men should not ask women should or I'm not doing this in order as I have them. I'm gonna do this one. Are you on your period?
Yeah, really? Like, why? No. That's so horrible. Like, and it's so funny because men usually ask that when women are based on women's
Acting
attitude, I
up.
feel like. And it's just so disrespectful. It's like, don't ask me that. That's none of your business. Because if you're my man, and we're partners, you don't have to ask that. Like, actually, I'll ask my man, like, my period is coming, it should be coming now. It's the clock. You'll be telling me, like, yeah, it's about that time. So, but in terms of dating and stuff, like, no, that's a no. That's
Well,
disrespectful.
I think it usually comes off in like why you tripping kind of way. I think
Which
that's
is
how it
even
usually comes
worse.
off. Like it's like I'm attributing your whatever behavior to you being on your period. So I'm asking, are you on a period? Iconic advisor said, hell no. Maxicay
Yeah,
said,
it's
it's
disrespectful.
distasteful or disrespectful. Yeah. So we're saying we're in agreement there.
It's actually sexist too. It's like there's some sexism like linked in that, because not all women who are on their period have attitude or
PMS.
whatever.
Not everybody be PMSing.
No, not everybody. PMSing shows up different for different people. PMSing is not always, an attitude or mood swings or
And it
whatever.
could be somebody that can't have a period. It could be somebody that cannot
Exactly.
have a period, and now it's a whole different level of issue there.
Yeah, and why are you asking me that? Like, that's crazy. If somebody asks me that, it's like that's the last time you kind of know the person who would kind of ask that question.
Yeah, it's a low blow.
Like a dope dude, and then he asks that question. It'll be like a red flag.
He loses all kind of points for that, eh?
No, you lose points, you're out.
All right, Shirley says it's a big mistake, and she's training her boys in that area of things not to ask women. Okay, we have a bunch of these, so let's keep it moving here. Hang on, let me see what was he saying, because we have a male perspective. He's saying, bring back the simple times of yesterday when a man and a woman, when they were just friends, asking to kiss may deflate the vibe. But in this era, it is the right thing to do, so it's a no. And Wazim, you're so right. I could not have said it better myself. You're so right. And I never even thought about it before Francis mentioned it, where, we've complicated a lot of simple things to where this is really where we are now, where it probably is the safer bet to ask than not. You know what I mean? All right. Like I said, I'm not
put it in writing, and probably put it in writing on a contract.
Contract after date 3, I can kiss you. Okay. All right. Now, why are you friends with Joe? Whoever Joe is. Because like, why are you friends with Joe? Or is that's not a thing? It's almost like, why are you friends with this person? It's like for whatever issue the person has or don't have, or because the person is attractive and they're trying to get with you. So, all right, put it this way. Say for example, Francis, you and I, okay? Somebody see us off, they don't know our background. You're dating somebody, he doesn't know our background, and he thinks, okay, that guy is an okay, decent looking guy. Or reverse, whoever my significant other is sees me and you, and they're like, yo, what's going on here? And I say, this is my friend's Francis. Are you saying this is my friend Martin? Whatever. And they're like, why are you friends with him? So I was like, it would be in a case where the other person is attractive, obviously.
Yeah.
And now the person you're dating or the person that's trying to date you is asking you, why are you friends with Joe?
Yeah.
What does that speak to?
I mean, I don't know if I don't think that's on the, like, you should not ask, but I think that's not the question you want to ask. Because if you're asking that question, you really want to find something else. There's an insecurity, there's a concern that's on the base of it. So you're not questioning the friendship. You're questioning, whatever insecurities that you're experiencing around that interaction. Because if that's the case, you want to list all my friends and you want to ask me why I'm friends with all of them. You know what I mean? Like, it depends on where you're coming into. If you're coming to somebody's life, they have a life, right? They have friends, they have family, they have different things. And so when you start getting with somebody and when your relationship goes to the next level, you still don't even have to ask me, like, I should know which friendship I need to curb. It's like, if you have a friend, a male friend that you talk to all the time and certain time, you have a man now, your male friend's supposed to know, I have a man now, so you're not going to be calling me all hours, and your man's supposed to know who your friends are. Right. So if you're asking me why I'm friends with someone, that's a whole different conversation. And then I'm going to ask you, what do you really want to know?
Right.
Like, what is your issue with me being friends with this person? That's the question you want to ask.
So it speaks to the person, it speaks to their own insecurity. So it has nothing to do with you per se. It's just them being insecure in themselves or in the relationship. Yeah,
I never asked that. Yeah, my man, I come in, he has friends, male friends, he has female friends. I have male friends. We don't ask, like, why are you friends? You know who the friends are because you've been talking and they say, oh, this person, that person, this person call you, talk to your friend, whatever. Right. But if you're going to ask, like, why are you friends with this person?
You step on iconic advisor card. She don't have anything. She don't have anything to do with it. You see, she a whistler skipper. She done. She press her fight. Right now. All right. We now step on your card here. We're moving on. Now, how about this one? Why are you single?
Why are you single?
I'm not single. Why are you single?
Exactly. Why you single? Same reason why you single. Why am I? If you thank God, you know, why are you even questioning if I'm single? Because if I wasn't single, I wouldn't be talking to you. So
Right.
you really trying to get
Well,
yourself.
I think in that situation, guys usually ask that in an attempt to pay a compliment. You know what I mean? It's an attempt to play a compliment. So it's like I'm saying somebody that look like you, somebody that whatever like you shouldn't be single. So it's like what? So the question is like, why are you single? Like,
It's
how is
corny.
it
Yeah,
that
I
you are
know that. I
single,
know that line. I've heard that one, and it's corny. So
Corey?
guys, don't do that.
So that definitely stays on the no list.
Yes, that's
Okay.
corny. Like,
That's corny, guys. If you're doing that, if you've done that, stop it. Women don't appreciate that stuff, okay? Survey is wrong. Okay. All right, we're moving
right? Where
on.
are the ladies at? Right, ladies? We don't like that. Anybody like that? Like, why are you single? You're wasting time asking me why I'm single. You should be you're lucky I'm single.
I know, well, sure, it's a good answer. So it's a good answer. All right, so check this out. Um, are you really gonna eat that?
What are you really asking? So this is my thing with questions, just in general, right? Because when people ask questions, I always want to know, like, what are you asking? Because that's not what you're asking. Am I really going to eat that? If you want to know if I'm going to eat it, give 2 more seconds and you'll see me take it up and put it in my mouth. That will answer your question. So the fact that you're asking me, that's not what you want to ask me. You
I'm
know, you
gonna
want to
ask
say
you.
like,
You're
are you
asking
going to
that
eat
to
that
eat
that sandwich as opposed to the the
the
what they call it,
salad.
Brussels sprouts or the
The
salad?
breakfast.
You know, like you saw me order it. Why you think it's sitting in front of me? So don't ask me no stupid questions.
So I'm thinking that one is definitely on the no list. Don't ask
No.
your girl, are you really gonna eat that?
And you know why? And it's so funny because the other part, this way I want to talk about that because I feel like, especially with men, like I've seen those comments, you know, whether it's whether you're gonna eat that or even comment about women. Like you see men with a big old belly in front of them commenting on a woman, like, oh, you know, you gotta watch your weight. Like you gotta watch, like I feel like the whole weight, the whole eating healthy and stuff is usually geared towards women. When men, I'm like, I don't see you in the gym. Like when you have your 6 pack, then come ask me why am I, you know. So I feel like there's that piece of it, like, you know, you be eating a whole steak and whatever and then asking me why I'm eating, you know, my double whopper with extra cheese.
You really gonna eat that?
Don't ask me that. That's disrespectful.
Okay, guys, that one is on the hell no list. Hell no. There you go. I kind of advises with you on that one. She said, nah, don't ask me nothing. If you
No.
ain't got your 6 pack, if you are not sporting your 6 pack, don't ask me nothing.
Or all of
Uh,
that.
so,
Yeah,
so
like,
this
or
double
you're gonna
standard.
eat that or all of that, or you're gonna eat all of it. Just keep watching. You'll see. Maybe I will, maybe I won't.
Maybe I will. I'll give you like 2 seconds.
Give me
You
two
see what
seconds.
comes next. All right. Let's see where we're at here. Um, why won't you talk to me? This is clingy. So this is
Oh,
somebody being clingy. It's like,
I like that one.
why
That's
won't you
like,
talk to me?
I like that. A man who wants you to talk to him wants to know why you don't talk to me.
But
You
isn't it kind of lame though? Is it kind of lame?
No,
Like,
I
why
don't
won't you
know.
talk
I
to
don't think
me?
that's lame at all. I think that's like somebody who's in touch with their, because this is somebody who wants to communicate and not for nothing, you know, it's very rare, right? That you find usually women are the drivers of that. Usually women are the ones saying, open up, why don't you talk to me? So if you have a man
Mhm.
saying that to a woman, that means it's somebody who, you know, wants you to open up and wants to kind of develop that and tapping into that kind of emotional, you know, sensitivity and I like that actually. That
Okay.
would make me want to talk.
Okay, well, so that one survey
Yeah.
says
Who
that one is
said
good to
that?
go. She doesn't think it's clingy, but if you have to force the conversation, then that's a sign in and of itself. Good point, Shelly. Yeah, so Shelly says she doesn't think it's clingy per se, but if you have to be asking that question, it means like you're kind of sort of forcing the whole conversation. What do you think?
No, I mean, like I said, I think it depends, right? Because I think that's not like a first date. It depends on where in the communication, then that question is coming up. You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
if you're on a first date with somebody and they're like, it's like, I don't know you. But but if it's like, after sharing and whatever, and the person's like, and they could open up a conversation like, I can't talk to you because you never give me a chance to talk because you're
Right.
always talking, or
Okay.
you seem very guarded. So that makes me, or I'm still building trust, whatever it is. But I think it depends on like what stage the person is like, asking that.
Okay.
But I like that. I could rock with that one. I don't know. I don't think that's like a no for me.
Okay, I got a good one for you. I got a good one for you. Boo. You ready?
Yes.
It says, you look different. What did you do?
Oh, that could be a compliment.
I don't know. I disagree.
You look different. What did you do?
You look different. What did you do?
Maybe, yeah, I don't know. Maybe, yeah, right? I don't know about that one. I don't think that's a no.
I think it should
You
be a
think
no.
it's a no? Why?
It should be a no because, dude, you should observe and see what the difference is and compliment the difference if it's a good difference, and don't say nothing if it's a bad difference. But you don't say.
But it's interesting how I automatically
do?
think that's a positive, right? I didn't automatically think that's a negative. It's like that to me sounds like you look different. What did you do? Like, I don't know if somebody would. I guess I don't know.
I don't know. We've got to put that one to the survey.
Yeah, we need to vote on that one. What do people think about that one?
It says you look different. What did you do? I don't know. I don't think it's a no.
I don't know. I changed my hair color. Did you notice? You notice
yes,
I changed my hair color?
Yes, your hair is dark. It usually have color in it. So yes, I noticed that your hair is dark. Your hair usually has color. It now does not have color. That I don't know. I don't know about that.
I don't know either. What do people think?
Well, Shelly said she doesn't think it's a no.
Yeah, I don't think it's a no. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that one stays in. I think.
Yeah. I know. Iconic advisor say, I guess it depends on how you feel about your change. I guess so.
Okay. So so it could be.
Yeah, like if you make a change, because sometimes we do it. We want to see if you're gonna notice. So we'll do a change and we'll show up on the date or whatever and waiting for you to notice. And then you're gonna say, depending on what it is. And it's like something is different. What is it? It's like, no, you gotta guess.
Martin wasn't sure how to respond. Ha 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 ha. Don't come for me. Sounds like a compliment.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
That's how I would take it.
All right. So maybe some of these have more traction than I thought they did. Okay. Let's see what else we have here. I'm sure this one is a no. How old are you?
Oh, why? That's not a no for me. Like, people, like, I always get annoyed with people who like hide their age, or women will say like, don't ask a woman her age and stuff. I'm like, but if I want to know your age, why can't I tell you my age? What I like to do is guess that. When people ask that one, I like the guessing game. Like that, I always say when I was dating, I would be like, it's when you get to how old are you? And I'm like, guess how old I am. And then they would guess, like, you have 3 guesses. And people always guess younger. So maybe that's why I like the guessing game.
maybe the reverse.
But I don't mind at all. I love talking, sharing my age and talking about, I don't know if that's going to change as I get older, but in my family, we celebrate our age, and my mom and stuff. I have an aunt who's been 30 for like 30 years. It's like, we know you're not 30 anymore. It's so stupid.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I don't personally. Yeah, I don't. I do. That's definitely not a no for me. It's like, yeah, you want to know. I'm not a random person asking me my age, but like, not like
why can't that fall under the Me Too business where I want to see if you're legal or not? I celebrate my age. Says
me too.
Advisor.
Maybe when it's when you're a teenager, you're a young person and want to know your age, but you could kind of,
I guess to your point though, I guess it depends on really whether or not you look your age. So if you don't look your age, then yes, you're going to be a lot more willing to, say what your age is because you don't look it. She likes the guessing game too.
Yeah, I guess. Like
Yeah.
three. I always give three guesses. Like, all right, if you don't guess it after the third time, then forget it.
Okay. Okay. How about this one? It's similar to one we asked already.
Hold on. So you never ask nobody? No, you never ask a woman her age? How you know a woman's age? How you know your woman's age? You
Um,
Google it. You look it up. What do you do?
no, well, usually you know something else about the person that kind of gives you context. So if it's somebody that attended college, attended high school, did this, did that, then that can give you some kind of example. You have 4 years of college, this, that. It kind of gives you
So
some
like
kind of
ballpark. So like a
window.
ballpark.
Yeah, you kind of ballpark it. You know what I mean? Yeah. The only reason I'd ask that is to see how young somebody is, because I don't do young. Like I never did young when I was young. So yeah, I don't do young. So if I
I
think
have no
somebody look like
behavior. Not a
I think somebody
behavior,
look like they're on the younger side of things, nah, I'm gonna find out, because that don't
So
usually
then what
work.
happened after you find out they're younger? They get
No,
ghosted?
if they're younger, they get ghosted for sure. If they're younger, they get ghosted. All right, so here we go. You look tired today. Did you sleep?
What's another way to ask that question? Or
I
to rephrase that?
I don't know. I don't know. You tell me.
Like you want to, because you want to cut out on the date early. You want to go to sleep. Because if I wanted to go to sleep, I would not be here on this date with you. So don't ask me no stupid question.
You look tired today. Did you?
That's not nice too. Like you look tired today. I mean, acknowledging that somebody that can also be, kind of depending. Like, okay, you're acknowledging that someone is tired or whatever, but why are you? I don't know. What is another way to say that? Like, what would you say to some? You go out
Me?
you go out with a woman, second, third date. She, eyes are red. She looks a little bit like tired. What are you gonna say?
Um, I'd open the door for her to tell me.
Exactly.
So I'd ask how her day was,
How was exactly? How
or
was
what
your
she did
day?
today.
Yeah, or put it back on yourself. Like, man, I feel so tired. How was your day?
We confusing the man. Oh boy, are you okay, huh? What are you talking about me? Is she talking? Is she talking about me? Why is she talking about me for? Why are you talking about me, lady? Don't be talking about me, lady. I'm okay.
Yeah,
I'm
so
fine.
yeah,
Thank
that
you.
one is yeah, I don't know. I don't like that one.
You don't like that one? So that one is that one. Okay, so that one's a no.
That's like a narcissist yellow flag.
Okay. Okay. All right. So don't ask people if they tired. All right. How about this one? I know you have a boyfriend. Can we be friends?
Listen, I get that one. Or that's what happens, right? You just have a casual conversation with somebody because they start out by giving a compliment. This literally happened to me twice last week
Wow.
in different situation, and it was like another the whole conversation, like, hello, oh, whatever. The sun is, it's hot today. It's cold. Yeah, elevator talk. Oh, you thank you. You have, no, it's do you have a boyfriend? Or I'm like, I'm not interested. And then it's like, can we? And when you said I'm not interested or I have a boyfriend, it's like, can we be
Can we
friends?
be
And I
friends?
always say, I don't need no more friends. Or can we just like talk, communicate? I don't need any friends. My boyfriend is my friend.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Jamaican men are known for that. I could say
Can-
that literally. That's their corny line.
you have a boyfriend. So and really that's just the opportunity for them to stay on the sideline waiting for the referee to blow the whistle and invite them in the game, innit?
And what I've said to people who, like, if it's more like somebody you're communicating with, like say work or somebody you see more than once and they're kind of persistent, I
Mhm.
always throw it back on them. Where like, if I was your woman, would you want me to be friends with somebody, another
Right,
man?
right,
And then
right.
usually that's when they're usually like, yeah, I hear what you're saying. Like,
Mm.
you know what I mean?
They- you're pulling them left or right, boom.
Yeah, like don't try to play me.
Shelly says corny as hell.
Yeah,
Corny
or the
as
opposite,
hell.
where somebody like a man who's married have
Mhm.
asked, when I was single, I remember this guy was married and I was single, and he asked me, I was like, You're married, right? Yeah, but we could just go as friends. I said, well, if your wife comes along, then I'll go with you.
And I'm
Invite
sure
your wife, and then we could go.
yeah, I'm sure he
Since
was
I'm your
over
friend,
it. I'm sure he was over
I'll
it
be
at
friends
that
with you
point.
and your wife.
Okay. How about this one? You're out on a date or you're about to go on a date and your date says that you're asking where to go and they says, I don't know. What do you want to do?
I hate that because I'm indecisive when it comes to like food and stuff. So unless if I'm planning the date, which happens sometimes, right? It's not just on the man to plan a date. First date, the man does his thing, whatever, because that's
Right.
just I'm traditional like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But after fourth date or so, it's like I'm planning like I'll do the opposite, like get ready at 7, and it's a surprise, and I'll do that. I'm doing the whole thing, so I got it planned out.
Right.
Like my pet peeve is a man who doesn't have it like planned out and have it together. Like don't put it back on me. I'm indecisive just naturally when it comes to like food and stuff like that. So when somebody is like, I don't know what you want. What do you want? It's like, come on, have it planned, have it figured out. That's very annoying to me.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I feel you.
Because then I'll say, I don't want anything. I'll see you next time.
I hope. What
I've
do you
also
want?
done that.
I want nothing. I'm done. I'm out.
I
Peace.
want to go to my bed and go to sleep.
Next week. We could try this again tomorrow or sometime. Sounds familiar. Sure that sounds like she on them kind of shenanigans too. Mm-hmm. Yep. But it's so funny. I found out that sometimes when you're asked, or if you ask, and they put it back on you and you decide, they then share what they want. So they say to you, where do you want to go? And you decide. And then on the way there, they're like, okay, can we go here instead? Even though you gave them the option, they didn't choose. They asked you to choose. You chose. On the way to the place you chose, they
Yeah,
changed.
that's more seasoned though. That's like that sounds like that's me, right? That's more seasoned when you're in
Okay, that's when
like
the relationship is
in
further along.
yeah.
Okay. That's kind of
That's
like
like I'm not hungry. That's like the what you want me
yes,
to
I
pick
saw
up
that.
for dinner. Now I'm
That's
like
what I
I'm
was
not
gonna
hungry. And you come home and I'm in your fries and your thing. Like I saw this meme where the guy
I
like
saw one,
literally bought the stuff.
bought
So when
one
she
for
came to
her.
get his, he
I
gave
got
it to
that.
me.
I saw that the other day. When she came to dip in his, he just gave her
He was
hers.
like, "Here is
Because
your own."
he knew she was gonna want it. Y'all crazy like that for real though. Like y'all need to really stop that foolishness. Like I'm going to this place. You want me to get something? No, I'm good. And the minute you arrive, they want to taste it. Don't taste nothing. I asked if you wanted something. Let me get a wing. Let me get a fry. Like, get out of here.
Or 2 or 3.
I know.
And then be getting and get mad sometimes, like, so you didn't get sweet and sour sauce?
No, I asked you what you wanted. You said you didn't want nothing. Yeah. Yeah, you see, y'all know that's how y'all get done. For
Yeah.
real. That's how y'all get done. All right, let me see what else I got here. Um is that what you're gonna wear tonight?
That's basically, again, that's one of those like questions that's not what you really want to ask. Like, you don't like the dress I'm wearing. I know that to me, that's what it means. You don't like what I'm wearing. So just say
Mhm.
that.
Right. Instead of
And
is that
you should have, when I ask you this one or this one, you should have never said anyone. Because now that I put on one of the anyone, then you want to say, is that what I'm wearing? I have it on my body. What do you think?
Well, he never realized how bootylicious it was until it went on. On the hanger, it just falls flat on you. It goes in other
Yeah.
places, and
Yep.
now it's
Like, I
problematic.
didn't realize it was so short when you held it up.
Yeah. Now
No,
you
it's
put
not
it
short.
down
My legs are just long. That's my thing.
uh-huh. Yeah. But is that so that's a no though. That does stay
Yeah,
with the
that's
no
not. Yeah,
factor.
I don't. Yeah, that's a no.
There's no if or but about that one.
No.
All right. Okay. And I got caught with this next one. I want to ask you so bad. I'll tell you about it. But the question is, are you pregnant?
No, like that's a no to the no for men and women. Because women sometimes ask that or like no. Women get bloated when sometimes they're PMSing. Women are bloated. We're bloated because, or we just have a pouch just because and it's the same thing. It's like that's one of those questions too where I feel like the double standard is like I want to, if I knew, it's just because I know men can't bear children, because a lot of men be walking around here looking 10 months, 12 months pregnant.
Yeah,
so don't ask me no questions, especially if you will be the ones who don't have the 6 pack, you're asking those questions too. But yeah, that's definitely, I think that's a very disrespectful question to ask just in general, because imagine, for instance, a woman could have just lost the baby or be dealing, there's so many things that women deal with that it impacts our body, hormones, and a lot of things that we deal with, a lot of medical stuff that impacts our bodies, not just weight gain and not taking care of yourself and all of the kind of negative perceptions that people have. And so that question is a very touchy question for male or female, because for even female to ask another female that question is very, very, that's a no to the hell no.
Okay. I'll reserve my comments on it then, because I have asked that question. The question I actually asked was, how far along are you? I already made the assumption they were pregnant. Asked how far along they were, and they were not pregnant at all. And I could have dug a hole and
I know you want to open up and let you in, right?
And I've seen it done too. I was at my college reunion, and a guy, good friend of mine, ran over to help somebody down the steps. And as he was helping her down the steps, he asked her how far along she was, and I'm elbowing the wife at the time. I'm elbowing the wife, saying, "Did you hear what he said? Did you hear what he said? Did you hear what he said?" Because the person that he asked is not somebody you want to ask that question, and that went so far left so fast.
Yeah,
like we almost needed a referee with a whistle.
But that one is rude. And when you ask a question like that, you just have to take what you get in response. And apologies usually just be like, "I'm so sorry," like kick yourself in your mouth and keep going. It's not a good question.
Okay. Shelly said she got that question, answered no, and the dude continued the conversation. Okay.
Oh my! Like, what did he continue with? Like, just regular
what came next? I know.
I know.
What came next?
What happened next?
Back at the ranch. Like, what the hell? Okay. Yeah. Oh,
look at us! We're like waiting to see what happens.
You have to set him straight. Now, well, my thing at the time. No, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to move on. Because I can't say how I rationalized it, because it's going to sound away. But I'm done now. Okay, don't ask people how far
and it's personal. Like, why my question to you is, and I mean, I'm sure you've learned from it, but why? That's a personal. It's almost like, how by pregnant women, I've been pregnant, where people just think because you're pregnant, it gives them the right to touch your stomach. And it's like, when I was pregnant, I had to put so many people straight, like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Excuse me, like, if I wasn't pregnant, you wouldn't come and touch my stomach. Like, this is my personal, this is my person. I don't know you from a can of paint." So it's the same thing. It's like, that's a personal question. It's like, why was that important for you to know if the person was pregnant or not? Right. Like, you could have made, if you were going to be kinder to them or nicer to them, you could have just kept that perception in your head and then
just be nice to them. Yeah, no, you're right. And they do that with babies too. Like, don't touch my kid. Don't touch my baby. Go away.
Yeah, I had to almost karate chop this lady when my baby in the elevator.
Don't touch my baby. Don't touch my baby.
You cross his hand. We not even know where you come from.
Okay, you ready for this one?
Mm-hmm.
How many guys have you slept with?
Oh, I don't know. Let me get my book.
There was Joe, and then there was Joe 2.0.
Like, what you mean from when? From how far back you want? No.
Oh my God. So I knew that one. So that was a hell no.
Especially because women tend to get, like, it's so funny because you know what that is, right? The flip side is like, if I say 10, 15, 20 or 2, that determines whether I am closer to Mary or further away to Jezebel. I don't know. But for men, it's the opposite, right? It's like 22,
want to
like
know
how
when.
experienced are you versus 20, like, oh, you've been around. So I think it's just the response is different depending on whether it's male or female. So that's the definite, like, I don't want to know, and I don't want you to ask me either. Like, I don't ask that question. I don't care.
Okay. How about this one? Is your sister attractive? Well, is she? I'm looking for a date from a homeboy. You know, your sister could be attractive. Look how attractive you are. I'm taking that as a no. I'm taking that as a hell no. I'm taking your response as a absolutely not.
Yeah, you know the meme, like the no comment meme. That's it.
That's the no comment meme. That's
Yeah.
the that's the just shake your head aside. Like
Like, this is when you pick up your pocketbook and be like, ah, this was such a waste of my time. Didn't I need to?
I just exit stage left.
Yeah.
Okay. I can see that happening too. You just pick your pocketbook up, put it over your hand, and be like, as you exit the door,
Yeah.
tell the valet to bring your car around.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So we won't even discuss it. That's a hell no. We asked that one. Okay. How about this one? Can I borrow some money?
Oh, no.
Can I borrow some money?
No, 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 no. This is not Chase Bank, JP Morgan, or what's the other bank's called?
Scotia.
Wrong bank.
Scotia.
Or
JMB.
NBC, JBC,
RBC.
whatever. No,
Mhm.
wrong
Okay.
bank.
Wrong bank. Okay. So, well, does it matter this stage that the relationship is in or no?
No, because if this is your partner, like your husband or your partner you're living with, like, that's not even how the conversation is going. NCB, I said NBC. That's not how the conversation is. Yeah, that's not how the question would be asked either. You know what I mean? Like, and people in period. Like,
Mhm.
personally, I don't lend money. I don't borrow money from people. If I need to borrow,
Right.
if I had to, it would be like, my family, like my mom or
Right, right,
whatever.
right, right, right.
So that to me is a big, big red flag.
Okay.
Like, you don't have nobody else to ask that for. What happened to? Because that's you don't have nobody. That's what your boy's for.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what your grandfather, your father, your uncle. You got to have other people that you should be able to go to before you come to me.
Before we come to you.
Because it's the
Okay.
same thing with me. Like, I wouldn't borrow money from a man I'm dating, asking for money, because I feel like that's a reflection on me and like my surroundings, like my people that I have, that I should be able to ask before I could get to this person.
Courtney Bogle.
And I know everybody doesn't have that, but I just feel like that's just
Bogle, hold up the red flag. Bogle is a see red flag. Big red flag that. All right. And as a male perspective, there you go. All right. So check this. I have another one for you. It says, do you think I'm attractive?
that's like an insecurity question.
It is. It is.
Yeah, I feel like
But
that's an
does it
insecurity
fall on
question.
the
And
hell
from a
no?
man asking a woman that, like, it's kind of, that's like weird. Like, that's like the desperation. I don't know. Like, do you think I'm attractive? How do you feel about me is a different question. Like, how do you feel
Nah,
about me?
don't twist the question. The question is, do you
No.
think I'm attractive? Is the question. Does it? Do you have a would you like me to recommend a therapist? Should be the answer.
Yeah, that's like, no, I don't like that question. Like, that would make me feel like, poor thing. Now I would switch into like my social worker mode and be like, oh, what happened to you?
What
Want to sit on
happened
my
to you?
couch? Come sit on the couch.
Couldn't get enough breast
Tell
milk
me
as
about
a
your
son?
childhood. What's your relationship like with your mom?
Yeah, I know. Iconic Advisor seems like he's doing a survey. How many women out of 20 think I'm attractive? Shelley says, I say, don't ask questions you might not want to answer to. Your
Exactly.
feelings might get hurt.
Exactly.
So, do you think I'm attractive? And the person goes, the person does that, and kind of confess and do da 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 da, he and start doing the like.
Because you would know, like, if I'm, if when I'm somebody, if I find someone attractive, they're gonna know just in general, and vice versa. Like those are the things you kind of know, like you're really beautiful or you're really handsome, or like you those are the compliments you give like initially. So if somebody
Mhm.
have to ask that, then it
Well,
depends on when they're
maybe it
asking that
never came
too.
up. Maybe it never came up. And
No, like if there's interest, you're gonna know. I mean, I don't know what's happening in the dating game right now, but like that's the first thing you do. You come out, you meet up wherever you're in the car or you go out, you'll be like, "Ooh, like nice shirt." Like you're really attracted. Like usually that's the message you get. Like after
right.
you say good night and you go inside and you get that message, like really enjoy the day. You're so beautiful or something.
Secret.
Like
And
yeah,
that message
you're
I get, Francis. And that message. And that message I get, Francis Ray. Anyway,
no, you know that, right?
no, true. When you do
Yeah.
go out, have a good time, and you leave, one of those dates that seem to just like, yeah, you don't really want to leave, and then when you leave, yeah, you're gonna send that message that kind of captures the sentiment you're feeling,
But
and
I
yeah,
also want to say, just for real, like you might go out with somebody that you might not be attracted to initially, especially maybe not physical attraction, because there are different types of attraction.
uh-huh.
So you might go out and you're not physically attracted to the person, but
Hmm.
you're really digging them, and then eventually you start. Because I think physical attraction is still important, but sometimes it's not initial. It doesn't always happen right away. Sometimes as you get to know the person, you start really liking the person, and you're like, "Ooh, his eyes are really nice," or I love the way his lips move. And then, the attraction starts to build.
Hmm.
And so sometimes people might not be clear because you might not give that compliment initially.
Right.
But you don't have to wait until it comes, honey. Don't be asking me that
They'll be
question.
asking. Okay. All right. How about this one? How much do you weigh?
Oh,
That one get okay, I get it. I get it. That's the take up the purse and walk out and get
that's what I
it.
said. No, no, that's the pick. You want to try? Okay, hold on. Stand right there. Pick me up. But jump on. You tell me how much you think I weigh. But it's like, why is that? That's another like
Yeah,
um
that's a go around the
yeah,
point
it's like,
question.
why do you want to know that? Like you could
Right.
look at somebody and tell, unless this is online, I mean whatever, online dating or something where you don't see usually you see
Yeah, but you
pictures,
see
but
people. You have profile pictures on online
no,
dating.
but profile pictures, trust me, because remember, profile picture
Well,
sometimes it's just a
true,
face shot. That
true.
doesn't, because that
No,
let
well,
me
well,
tell you.
I've dated online, and that's the red flag. I've done online dating, and that's a red flag. If you see somebody with all the profile pictures they have, because like the average site you have to put 4 to 6 photos, and all your 6 photos are headshots, then no, that's a delete. Whatever the delete button
Wow.
is, that's a
That's
delete.
yeah, I didn't think about it, but that's true because like you don't know, like the headshot doesn't really
Now,
tell
if
you anything much.
if all your shots are headshots, then no. If
Like
all
height.
if every shot you're here is a wig, is well, let me not even get into it. Okay. How about this one? And I have two more, and then we go move on. Do you love me? She seems to need the audience. She needs the audience on this one. Audience, give her some help here. She seems to be lost for words for this one
Yeah,
here.
that's like not a desperate, like it makes me want to be like, oh, like I don't know, but why are you asking that? Like that's a very like that's a desperate like question. Like I don't that makes me feel sad for the person asking.
If you have to be asking, then
Like, do you love me? Like that depends too, because that's not something you're gonna ask like on the first or second or whatever day. And usually
right.
people say what usually happens is somebody will say I love you, and then you either say I love you too, or
Or
you
the
say
awkward
I love
silence.
you, but like with the love of the Lord, or
Or the awkward.
the like yeah, or the love, we I love you, like we're all supposed to love each other, like love my neighbor as myself, love. But um
Oh hell no, no, no! I love you. You hear the crickets. You hear the crickets. All you hear is
I love you. I love me too. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Shirley has one. I love how you love me.
Love me.
I love you. I love how you love me. That's like, hey, that's like that song by Silk Sonic when he says, I deserve to be with somebody as fly as me, somebody as fly. And then the next song said, and you deserve to be seen with somebody as fly as me.
That's
So it's like the first one says,
that's a
I deserve
narcissist
to be.
anthem.
Yeah, yeah. It's like you deserve to be with somebody as fly as me. They say you deserve to be seen with somebody as fly as me. There's nothing
What
said
about
about you.
me? What about me?
About
Oh
you.
God,
I
that's
love
funny.
how,
Yeah,
I
that
love
one
how you
is.
love me. That's a good one. Let me see. Action don't line up with words, and they already know. But yeah, so that's one
Yeah.
of those. That's one of those. Yeah.
If you have
They
to
kind of,
ask the question, the answer is probably no.
if you have to ask the question, the answer is probably no. Okay. All right. This is my last question, and I kind of saved the pasa question for last. It's
That's
kind of
20 questions.
yes. What everyone? They go fast.
Yeah.
That is 20. I literally had 20 questions. And I'm going to ask the audience. We're going to take one from the audience too. Questions you think male should never ask female. Let's get some from y'all. So here's the last one I have. Would you do a threesome?
Why? That's a valid question. Let's talk about it. Yeah, no, I mean, for real, like you're talking about yeah, because I mean, like I said, I am probably gonna surprise. This is live, right? Oh shoot.
Mm.
It's gonna be a surprise. Some what who cares? But yeah,
Remember-
it depends on your your relationship. It depends on how you want to move in your relationship. There are people who are, in um monogamous relationship, but there are other people who are in polygamy, not polygamy because that's the marriage thing, but
Right.
polyamorous relationship.
Uh-huh.
So that's and some people just like this is something they want to explore. That's just a one-time thing. So that's definitely I love that is definitely a yes. Like if you're thinking that, we should have that conversation. It's either going to be yes, no, or what does it look like? And
Right.
sometimes in the what does it look like, we'll decide if it's a yes or no, because we have to
Right.
have some sort of agreement. So that for me, it depends on the relationship, but I think these type of questions people in relationships should get used to at least being open to having those conversations, because this will limit people kind of going outside and doing other things because they're like, I don't know, let's explore, let's talk about it, what does it look like
Mhm.
for us? So definitely I encourage those questions for
Okay.
sure.
Is it an open relationship?
and
Then
and not,
if it is, then by all means.
Yeah. And I don't even necessarily mean, like I said, with open relationship, because if we talk about like polyamorous relationships where that's not an open relationship, it could be like a one-time thing. And it's like
Mhm.
who, where, when, how, what is it going to look like? Who is this person going to be?
Yeah.
Like those type of conversations. So it doesn't necessarily, because open relationship means where, people are dating.
Okay.
That's different from polyamorous relationship where it's like we're allowed to date, but there's still guidelines around that.
Here we go, Francis. I don't ask for much, girl.
You know what I want? I just want what's fair.
I just want what's fair.
Fair problem. And it has to be both, it has to be both too, because that's what happened. Sometimes it's one-sided, right? Where the male, sometimes the perception is that male are usually the ones who are the instigators of this, but sometimes women do have. I've heard of situations and had conversations with people where the woman was like, this was a fantasy that she had, and then there was a conversation around it, like, what does that look like?
But how solid would the relationship have to be to survive that, though?
But people's relationships survive infidelity. This is an agreed upon, we're doing this together, it's the best scenario. Then people go ahead and cheat and do all of these things and people still survive that. How do they survive that? If you could survive that, you could, because it's better,
True.
we make this decision together. So whatever the outcome is, we did this together and we deal with it together. That's where I'm saying the conversation comes from. Is it going to be the friend, from next door, or is it going to be a random personal vacation where we'll never see them again? Like, how does it impact our relationship moving forward? That's what the
Let's go
conversation
scoop a
is
couple.
about.
Let's go out today and go downtown and find a couple that's on vacation and take them home with us.
Yeah, and what does that entail? So it's yeah. I don't think that's a no. Definitely, I think it's for each, to each his own. But I think even sometimes talking through that stuff, maybe sometimes talking through, you're like, oh hell no, we're not doing that. But just the fact that you could have that conversation with your partner, I think is crucial, because the main issues in relationship, according to researchers, it's sex, money, right? Those are like the main things that and communication.
That makes or breaks.
And communication. So it's communication, sex, and money, and then it's communication around those
sex
two
and
things.
money, right?
So that's why I think if people just become, and it's the hardest, not to say it's really the hardest thing. Think about your own relationship. The hardest thing to talk about is those things that are actually crucial in the relationship. It's very difficult to talk about that. But I think it's important to get to do. I have those conversations just to have it, just to see how people respond and react to it.
And in real life, I guess, if you can't, or if one person is more mature in that area than the other, you're gonna have a problem. So something I can joke about and think it's nothing, you're gonna make it into a mountain. But for me, it's a mole. And and if I'm of the maturity level that it's a mole for me, I'm never going to see it as a mountain.
Yeah. And it also, like, you're right. And it depends on the relationship. It depends on, your partner and what insecurities they're dealing with. Because a question like that could become, you don't think I'm enough. What am I not doing? And it's like, it's not about you, it's about, just want to be able to share like my thought process and what's going on. And I think, some people can't even survive that conversation, because then it's going to be like, you might have somebody already, so it depends on, that's where insecurities and stuff come in, and you have to know your partner. But I can tell you personally that getting used to having those conversations have really helped, relationships to get stronger and to be able to have those conversations, because once you get through that, you're like, wow, we could talk through this. And, and like I said, it gives you like a deeper understanding and knowledge. And now you feel like, it leads to a lot of talking about a lot of things.
The person has to be on your level, though. The person has to be on your maturity level emotionally, because if they're not, you can't have that conversation with them no matter what. Because the minute that conversation comes up, you can't unring the bell, first of all. And second of all, they are not going to be objective enough to have the conversation to see what merits there are to have to gain from the conversation at all. Once it comes up, there's one direction you're going to go, and it's left.
It's left. Yeah, that's true. And it could also relive trauma, right? Because, whether people, especially around infidelity, whenever you bring somebody else into the relationship or the thought of that, people always personalize it. So
that can never be a thing either. It's like, if infidelity was ever a feature of the relationship, you can't bring that up.
You can't bring
that
up.
So it's something that I think it depends on the stage of the relationship that you're in. Maybe in the early part, before anything start going left, y'all bring it up and y'all try it. Or late after the spark kind of gone, y'all can do something for spark it back or whatever. But if the person is not on the same maturity level as you are, I would suggest that really put that on the red flag list, because if it comes up, you can't unring the bell, and it's just gonna go left after that.
Yeah, I think we lost our audience. Did we?
No,
this is a tough one. This is when people, this is a tough one. It's personal. It's one of those ones, but it's definitely not a no for me. So,
all right, 10-4. Well, let's do this. You deserve to be seen with somebody as fly as me. Oh, hang on. Starts with that. All right, so we got to read a poem.
You did ask the audience if they had any questions that they thought.
I did. I didn't see any.
Buddy. Like a no.
They said they're here. We didn't lose them. She said we guys are the hosts, so they're just enjoying the show. Yep. Listening and learning is what Shelly Finn says she's doing. All right, and that was it, ladies and gentlemen, as far as questions that you should not ask a woman, or should you? Or should you? I would say make sure you spend some time understanding who you're dealing with first before you ask any of these potentially touchy questions, because you might end up down a rabbit hole you're really not prepared for and can't come back out of. All right, Trev. All right, Francis, pick a poem. What should I read? What should I read? What should I read?
Let's read The Lady.
Who's reading? You or me?
You're reading.
I'm reading. So we're reading The
Yes.
Lady.
We
today.
love when you read.
She loves when I read, she says. Okay. let's see what I got here. I never even mentioned
That's another
myself.
question not to ask who's reading. Oh, who's driving?
Or who's driving.
Yeah.
No, I'm driving. Yeah, I'm driving. Yeah, I'm always driving. Yeah. Anywho, The Lady is a poem. It's from my book called Love Life Confrontation Expressions, Selections from the Chronicles of a Black Man. And it's called The Lady. And it says, this kind of has something to do with what we read, but what we talk about. But let's see. Comfortably enough around her to do something silly. Like ask her, are you gonna eat that?
That's not silly. That's dumb.
Bless the blind. Give up yourself. All right, I'm gonna start over, folks. I'm gonna start over. Okay. The lady says, comfortably enough around her to do something silly, endearing enough to show her you're witty, simple enough to undergo the mundane, knowing no time spent together is ever in vain. She inspires you to subscribe to a higher goal, to look past the segments and address the whole, to dig deep and make the necessary changes, to be steadfast as you go through life's stages. Her sincerity is a thing to admire, her loyalty as tall as the tower. There's just something special about her that gets you. You try to avoid it, but it proves itself true. She is special, unique, she's the one. Meant for you since before time began. The undeniable conclusion of it all, you close your eyes, turn your back, and fall. Trusting her outstretched arms to always catch you. Showing her daily, you'll always catch her too. A designated special place in your life, even if she never becomes your wife. That buddy.
Yeah, big. This is awesome. I like this one.
Big tune, that buddy.
Big. You heard me about to say big tune.
Big tune, a big tune, man. A big tune for you. So this kind of deals with some of the things we talk about.
Yeah.
It's called The Lady. Stanza 1 talks about just comfortably enough to do something silly. This is two people that are kind of seasoned together as far as time is concerned, you know. Bless up, Shelly.
Really?
Yeah, on the mud. I think they're listening because it said you're comfortable enough around her to do something silly. You're endearing enough to show her you're witty.
I don't know, because you don't. So as you're reading this, like the first thing I'm thinking is soulmate, which is not in there, right? Because it talks about she's the one, all of that stuff. Because
Right.
So when you were reading it, I'm thinking this sounds like the wife, and then it ends by saying even if she never becomes your wife. And I was thinking like soulmate, because your soulmate doesn't always have to be the person sometimes that you end up with, right? Is that person that you have that connection with. And have you ever had like I watched this this Love is Blind show. It's like fascinating to me, where people kind of talk through this wall and then they have to fall in love and propose before they actually physically see each other, right?
What?
But it's always amazing. So I follow the couples who have kind of sustained now like 2-3 years having gone through this, and it's like that initial connection even through the wall, and I saw that comfort that you feel because they start sharing like kind of intimate stuff about their lives. So I don't think you have to be that seasoned. Sometimes with your soulmate, that's how you know. You ever meet someone and like within weeks or after the first, second date, you're like, this person, I feel like I've known them for like 10 years, or all my life. So I don't know.
Shirley says she's the one that got away.
Could be too.
So it's like somebody who you have, you've been great with. It's like, say your high school best friend, your high school best friend, male, female best friend, and you know, you were separated for a long time. You met back up with each other after a while, but now you two guys are actually with your significant others. But you're on vacation. You go back home. You visit your hometown. You see your high school best friend, opposite sex high school best friend. Y'all hang out a couple times, and you realize, oh my good God, I'm in love with this person. I am in love with this person. But now, yes, you're comfortable enough around him to do something silly, endearing enough to do something witty, inspires you to a higher goal. All those things apply, but now you can't.
Yeah, it says you try to avoid it, so that might be right? Because like, why would you try to avoid it if you were seasoned?
What's the iconic advisor?
Like, why would you try to avoid it?
No, well, because now you're with someone. Now you are with someone. You're with someone now. So think about it. Think about it, Francis. You are with someone currently, right? You go home. I can't advise us if we end the show now before we step up, before we mash off the whole archive. But yeah, you're here now. You're in New York. You're there with your significant other. You go home on vacation and run into Zala, for example. No,
It's just so funny that you when I think about childhood, like,
Mike, time out. Don't say they're gonna put yourself in trouble. But I'm just using
not
Zala as
something
an
I put
example.
myself in trouble because it was
Because-
never like that. But
I know, no,
that's,
I know
when I
that.
think about childhood best friend, like as a male, that's who I thought about. And I was
Right,
like, damn, I haven't heard from him in a
Probably always
minute.
nice, exactly. And
Yeah.
Zala was a good kid, cool kid, married himself. You go home, you said, yo, back we link up, bring up put back the old crew together, right? And boom, when you find Natalie Saunders, you find Zala, you find you find the old crew.
Nostalgia.
I know, right? You put the band back together again, and while you're hanging out, you realize, say, you and Zala have a connection with us, a connect. Shot sparks a fire, pow, 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 all over. And now he's married with kids, you're married with kids, and now what? He's a person
you're
you're
the
totally
author of the
comfortable.
poem, so you know.
You're totally comfortable around him. He's totally comfortable around you. Y'all don't have. He knows you when you were little and clumsy. You knew him when he was little and clumsy and on a sheer bun and cheese and patty and bun, right? And so somebody like that is like you're totally comfortable around. But now you realize that, oh my God, like I'm in love with this person, and you are currently with somebody. What does that do to the whole dynamic?
I don't know. I think the first thing I would question. Well, no, we're not gonna psychoanalyze it, but I would definitely question your current like relationship, because I don't think it's like, for me, there's so much that has passed, and I've experienced that where somebody will reach out from the past and they're kind of like they're still there, and I'm like, so much has happened. Like, I don't even know who you are. Like, that's sometimes the fantasy too, because that does all happen. Like that whole thing, vacation, whatever, you think you're in love and then you decide to dismantle your life as is because you think you want to rekindle this thing, and then after you get into it you realize, like, I still think you're 18-year-old Nickesha, and you're not.
You're not.
Nickesha's had some experiences, and so
you ain't ready for
now
who I
it's
am
like,
now.
oh, now I want to go back, and it's like you just messed up everybody's life. So
you're the gaslit your life.
Next sleeping dog's lie. That's what I say.
Hey, that's what I think Shelly said that.
Oh yeah.
She said some things are better left unsaid.
You just keep that in your head, and that was a good time.
Yeah. Okay. And that's the lady. That's the lady, folks. If you don't have the book, catch it. It's 59. Check it out. And it's so funny. Somebody came on here and did the lady. Nickesha is no Nikki. Okay. All right then. She said, no, don't bother with that. So
exactly.
Somebody did this poem. Another guest had actually chose this poem and we did it. And I never got this that time.
Yeah.
Like everything they spoke about, none of that included this at all.
Really?
So what it seems to be so applicable to now never even came up at all in that show at all. You know what I
Interesting.
mean? And that's really just the beauty of
Of
poetry
yeah,
and
yeah.
context. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And when you now that we're looking at it in a different context, it just brings out something
Brings out
different.
something else. Yeah.
Yeah. Francis, I had fun.
This was so much fun. Thank you for inviting me to the party.
I know, right? Yep. I have some guests. Yes, I have a couple guests lined up too for next week. I'm gonna have a few guests on. I had a show in the past where we were looking to get some scholarships for some kids that were doing well in high schools in Jamaica. They did get accepted into university. They are gonna start university, so I want to bring them back on the show again to talk about that and where they are and what has happened since the show.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, we did. I think we did a go. They had a GoFundMe or something that they had, but they're rocking and rolling now. So
That's awesome.
I want to do a follow up show after that. The week after that, I have a young woman that's gonna come on. That's phenomenal in so many ways. I don't want to spoil the surprise, so I won't mention that just yet. But yeah, we're gonna have some more guests on the show. I mix it up a bit again, like we used to back in season one.
Thank you.
We
Thank
had
you for
Chris.
having me. This was so much fun.
I appreciate
Always
you,
a
my dear.
pleasure.
All right, Francis, take care. All right.
Bye everyone.
All right, peoples. That's the ball game. That's the ball game. That was Nickesha Francis, my co-host today, and we were looking at questions that y'all need to think twice before you go out there. Be asking people these things. What's wrong with you? Don't be asking people that, youth. All right, well that's it. Next week, join me next week, same time, same place. We go have a show. I have some guests for you next week. We go have a really good show then as well. And stay tuned. If you have not yet subscribed to the YouTube channel, the Martin Matthews Project, check it out. Like, subscribe, share. If you don't yet have a copy of this phenomenal book of poetry, Love, Life, Confrontation, Expressions, Selections from the Chronicles of a Black Man, check that out too. And until next time, I'm out of here. Peace.